Yes, sir. Episode 2. Oh, wow. We almost like an earthquake. That looked like an earthquake as my camera went nuts. Episode 2, live before lock. We're back and at it. Feels like we were just here the other day, and that's because we were. This is a short game week, but it's good to be back. We've got a fun one for you today. Not too many injury news. Like, there's nothing too crazy happening yet outside of DeJounte Murray breaking his body already. But we get a fun one. We're going to be going over all of the projections, the injury news, all of that fun stuff. And then in a little bit, right around the top of the hour at 6 p.m., we'll be joined by none other, Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob. It's going to be joining the show. We're going to talk about a couple of our lineups, maybe some things that we're excited about heading into the weekend. But a couple of things we got to do right off the top because we've got 2 sweet-ass giveaways for you today. Actually, technically, we have 3 giveaways because if you tuned into our value hunting episode that dropped this week for game week 2, we're going to be giving away a rare tier card out for that. We also are going to be giving away out another rare tier card because it is live before lock. But thanks to our friends over at Sorare NBA, we're also going to be giving away a pair of NBA tickets. That's right. We're going to be giving away a pair of NBA tickets to a game near you. So that's very exciting. All you need to do to qualify, you need to like this stream. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. You need to like this stream. You need to subscribe to the channel. And all you have to do is put hashtag Vegas into the chat. That will get you up to speed. That'll get you into the drawings, which we'll do periodically throughout the show. But we're ready to rock and roll, baby. We're ready to rock and roll. How did everyone do game week 1? Not me? Not great. I had a nice time. And speaking of Vegas, by the way, the reason why that we're doing hashtag Vegas, for those of you that missed it, we dropped a video this afternoon. Sorare dropped some alpha this afternoon for the in-season tournament now called the Emirates Cup. Ooh, the Emirates Cup. Get the bag, NBA. Am I right? They have a new whole contest. They did an explainer video, but basically instead of doing the month-long chase, they're going to be doing daily action every Tuesday and Friday throughout the Emirates Cup games. So every group game stage, they'll be doing it. And they're giving out $15K in prizes every single night, every Tuesday, every Friday. And then there's a couple of opportunities to actually win a VIP trip out to the in-season tournament final, which your boy will be out there for. I won't be out there in the VIP section unless it's very important board person, because then that would be me. Also, just want to say, if you're watching along on Twitter, since we are streaming out there, do me a favor, jump on over to the YouTube streets. Come on over to Elite Fantasy Hoops, and let's get going. Anything else, any other business we have to get involved in? We've got 47 entrants into the giveaway already. So like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Vegas into the chat. Yotes is saying only 2 in-season cards is really good. Yeah, that was nice. They did a lot of nice things. You can even win some stuff for the commons. Us common folk can still win some stuff out here. Let's slide on over to our friends over at Underdog NBA, and what we're going to do is see what they've got for some injury-related news heading into the weekend. Most of the stuff they'll be updating is for the week, for tonight. However, we might get some weekend stuff in here. Let me start the scroll down here. So Bub Carrington back at practice after he got dinged up. Gary Trent Jr. is questionable heading into tonight's action. We got Brandon Miller with the glute. He hurt his booty. He's going to be out for at least a week. Steph Curry, good to go. Green's good to go. We got D'Anthony Melton, most likely good to go. Beal participating in shoot around. Kevin Love already ruled out for hashtag Heat Culture. Is that more Thomas Bryant minutes? Maybe some Khalil Ware. We got a Bronny James update because, of course, you have to. And anything else new? Bub is actually probable, and Sam Hauser already ruled out. So we don't have too much injury stuff to look at. We do have the DeJounte Murray thing is going to impact some stuff. We're going to look over. We'll look at some our friends over at Top Tier Projections. We'll pop over there for a moment. We'll also do some Momentum Lab stuff as well. If you haven't signed up for Top Tier Projections, by the way, Team Hold 10 get you 10% off. 10% off. Oh, so Rare says Ware is out. Maybe I missed the Khalil Ware injury. Maybe I missed that. Apologies if I did. Let's pop over to Top Tier though here for a second. Matic Auto says he's locked in at 9-bedroom lake house with the fellas. At 9-bedroom. Oh, at a 9-bedroom lake house. Okay. I honestly, Matic Auto, thought for a second you were just dropping the address. Also, cheers. It's Friday. Officially happy hour where I am. We made it. A little Montauk Juicy for you. All right, let's go back over to Top Tier like I said I was going to do. So I can't show you all the goods of Top Tier Projections. Some of that stuff's behind the paywall, but we're going to do a quick check here on value. Let's see if I can. I don't really like my settings here. How about that? Why isn't this taking the full screen? You know what I'm saying, bros? I want this to take up the full screen. That's a little bit better. Okay, a little bit better. So looking over here at Top Tier Projections, again, if you're not familiar, you can sort by value, sort by cap, do all of that fun stuff. You can run optimals, which I'm not going to do here, but I just wanted to give you a feel. A lot of this stuff is going to be similar. A lot of the rookies, obviously, you're still going to pop because they got a cap of 0, right? You see Alexander Sarsgaard, cap of 0, projection of 26. Hey, how about Alex Sarr? Debut for the Boston against the Boston Celtics last night. Looked like it could be a little spicy, right? It was like, oh, this is fun. This might be fun. He's starting. Jonas Valanciunas coming off the bench. And then, good Lord, was it Brick City from Sar. And again, we got to be patient. These guys, these young kids. Who else we got here? Zach Edey. Yeah, of course, Josh Giddey. Lackluster performance from the Chicago Bulls against the Pellies in game 1. I expect Giddey to be a little bit better. He still projects really well. Cap's still pretty low. Dyson Daniels, the human vacuum cleaner, sucking up those steals. 5 steals. My guy had 5 steals in his debut for the Atlanta Hawks next to Trae Young. And then I mentioned this in one of the videos earlier this week. Yves Missy, man. We got a little Yves Missy sighting. I don't know if Yves Missy is going, like, with Zion returning, I don't know if he's still going to have, like, the biggest pump of it all. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's still going to be, if he's going to get that same run that he got in game 1. However, man, he looked pretty dynamic coming off the bench, pretty athletic. With no DeJounte, maybe they start with Daniel Tice at the 5, and then we still get some Yves Missy. And again, these guys are the cap of 0. They don't have to do much. You know, they just run around, sneeze a couple of times. So all of a sudden, they're 5 fantasy points. Buscelli, let's try to find some guys. Andre Drummond. Let's talk about Drummond for a second, huh? The Drum Dog Millionaire. He actually burned a lot of people in that first game by showing us how to kung fu fight as he was defending Giannis with foul. Him and Zach Edey were just the foul machines. Drum Dog didn't last too long in that. He still got a double-double, right? I think it was still like 11 and 13. However, tonight's matchup is juicy. The Sixers and the Raptors, 2 teams that are borderline unwatchable right now. I'm sorry. I can't get excited about Kyle Lowry, Yabusele minutes, okay? I'm not getting fired up about those minutes. Maxi's fun, but we've talked about this before. I think Maxi's a little bit better when we've got Embiid and other players out there. And then Toronto, no RJ Barrett. Manuel Quickley, I believe, ruled out as well. It's going to be a lot of that Grady Dick. Can Scotty Barnes do some stuff without Grady Dick? Oh, we got a new member up in here. Also, Patrick, shout out Patrick for doing that. If you didn't check out the pinned chat, we have a YouTube membership. It gets you all of the content that we do that's recorded. You get access to it ahead of time. We do a daily members only stream every single day. That's why it's called daily. And then we also have Live After Dark, which happens right after the Live Before Lock shows. We give away another rare tier card, shoot the shit for like a half hour. So go sign up for that. Be like Patrick. Be a good person. Anyways, back to the Raptors game. I think the Raptors have Jakob Poeltl as their big, and then that's it. So Andre Drummond, his over-under in Zakarian math, his rebounds is set at 58. He's going to get so many rebounds. MVP bid. I'll get to those a little bit later just because I want to get through some of this stuff, and then we'll get to some of the chit-chat. But yeah, anyways, I think Andre Drummond, especially because if people are like a little pissed off about his last performance, I think that's pretty fired up. Oh, Tesla. Let's go. I'm sorry for the Raptors slander. Look at this guy gifting out 5 different memberships. Man, must have gotten to Tesla early, okay? Early, because he's rich. He's rich. But anyways, go. Yeah, I'll stop talking shit about the Raptors. I'm sorry. I'll drop a little Tim Hardaway Jr. We were talking about a little Tim Hardaway Jr. earlier this week. He's going to cap at 8. He's going to take 400 shots.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball.
It doesn't really feel good to play Tim Hardaway Jr. I'll be honest, it doesn't. But we'll throw it out there. But the other Pelican we need to talk about is Jordan Hawkins, baby. Jordan Hawkins just absolutely popping off in the projections because so Hawkins played 20 plus minutes in game 1 before DeJounte Murray got hurt. That was before DeJounte Murray fractured his hand. Jordan Hawkins was already cooking. He's got a cap of 3, and now my guy's going to be out there for even more minutes. So Jordan Hawkins, probably the alpha play, if you will. A bunch of new people just joined us on Twitter through the Twitter stream. Hell yeah. Come on over to our Elite Fantasy Hoops YouTube channel. You can find a link, just sort Elite Fantasy Hoops, because we're doing a giveaway and we get some sick giveaways, although I should have shared screen a little bit more seamlessly there. All you have to do is like the stream, subscribe to the channel, put hashtag Vegas into the chat. We're giving away some rare tier cards. We're giving away a pair of NBA tickets. A lot of fun stuff. Also, Weisberg shouting out Matty Harrison in the chat, whose advice on Essence just got you a tier 2 Derrick Jones Jr. Wait, Derrick Jones Jr. is tier 2? I feel like we should be doing the Conan meme. Like Derrick Jones Jr. of the Los Angeles Clippers, tier 2. Is there a different DJJ? Because that's crazy. Derrick Jones Jr., tier 2. Not on my watch. Not in this economy. All right, let's go pop over to 16 cap. I don't care. That's no cap. Let's do a mental health check. Let's do a little mental health check. We can't go down this road. We can't talk about like how you need to have had sex in order to have responsibility. I just think it changes you, I think it changes you. There we go. I waited till our friends over at Sorare NBA retweeted the stream and then dropped that on them. Sorry, guys. All right, let's keep going here. Also, a ton of people watching us on Twitter. Come on over to YouTube, baby, so you can qualify. Let's look at some of John Boy Beats over at Momentum Labs. Let's go dumpster diving for some plays here heading into game week 2. Actually, what we have to do before that, I'm embarrassed. What we should have done right off the top was see what schedule we're looking at for this weekend, because this is like the first holy shit the NBA season has started, right? We've got so many games here. We're going to switch to this shares this screen now. We've got Nets and Magic. Now that is true sicko stuff, okay? That is true sicko stuff. If you are out there and you're not an Orlando Magic fan and not a Brooklyn Nets fan and you're watching this game, call the number. Better help. 76ers and Raptors, we covered that a little bit. The fantasy goodness of the weekend. Sign me up for the Charlotte Hornets against the A-Town down Atlanta Hawks, okay? Because Onyeka Okongwu season, I know his cap is 32 over here on So Rare. Did you see him play more minutes than Clint Capella the other night? What did he go? 11 for 12 from the field? 28 points, 8 boards, 3 blocks? Yes. Give me the Okongwu. And LaMelo Ball's back. He might not jump for his 3-point shots, but good Lord, that man is fun. We got Detroit against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Get ready to learn Donovan Mitchell, buddy. And then we've got a rematch of the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Tyrese Halliburton returns to the Garden when they eliminated the Knicks. That's tonight. Can the Knicks bounce back? I think one underrated fantasy storyline heading into this weekend. Knicks are going to play a ton of minutes, man. And I feel like people are like, oh man, Jalen Brunson, Knicks are pretty bad against the Celtics. I think they're going to play like 40 minutes tonight, and this is one of the better fantasy environments that you can ask for. And the Knicks have this like fake defense, not fake defense, but everybody thinks of the Knicks grit and grind. We're out there, Tom Thibodeau just screaming, right? This is going to be a lot of points in this game. So sign me up for the Brunson. Also, underrated injury that happened. Isaiah Jackson already ruled out for the Pacers. James Wiseman is going to be back in the lab again. Unfortunately, that lab is going to be working on another mixtape because he got hurt again. So Wiseman's going to be out most likely for the season, but it means Miles Turner is going to be playing a bunch of minutes. So again, you got Turner, Cat, Siakam, Brunson, Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride, low-key, a little Cam Thomas in him. Not a ton of passes, ton of shooting, though. We got Grizzlies and Rockets. That's going to be sort of fun, I guess. We got Bulls and Bucks, which I'm not super excited about. Warriors and Jazz, Suns and Lakers. And then, again, we were talking about the Pellies. Can I throw one more play at you here quickly? And it's not a manual quickly. Yuck. We've got DeAndre dominating, okay? The New Orleans Pelicans. We already mentioned Yves Missy, who knows how much he's going to play. Daniel Tice. I'm sorry, I'm not scared of that. And then we had head coach Willie Green saying, hey, why don't we just play Herb Jones at the 5? Well, hey, I don't think that's going to work out great. So DeAndre Ayton is going to be a sneaky good one, too. Let's go to Saturday. I promise we'll get back to some of the projections and plays that pop after we look at the schedule. But we got plenty of time. This is a 2-hour show now. Albanian Memes in the chat says, if I win the Vegas tour, I will donate all my NBA cards. All of them? Okay. All right, Albanian Memes. All right. Scoot's going to pop off. Yeah, off the bench. That's where he's going to be popping off. We need to get Scoot back in action. I see we've got 112 here on YouTube, over 150 on Twitter. Listen, if you want to qualify for NBA tickets, for rare tier cards, all that stuff, come on over to the YouTube. You know what I'll actually do? I'm going to reply. This is, guys, we should have thought of this ahead of time. We're going to reply to the tweet that is the video right now. Just to be like, hey, come on over to the YouTube. So let's come on and let's do it. Let's see what we can do here. Sorry, I don't know if this is entertaining for you guys, but this is how you have to do the content when you're doing a solo show. Let's see. We are giving away NBA tickets and Sorare NBA rare cards on YouTube. There we go. This is like stream of consciousness. All right, back to the action here. So Saturday. All right. Wait, Jonathan Isaac's out on Friday. Okay. RJ Barrett out on Friday. Yeah, we had that one. So we got Clips and Nuggets. Denver looked rough last night, right? They looked not great, Bob. However, Christian Brown was out there doing some stuff. Julian Strother actually looked okay off the bench. That's fun. Heat culture against the Charlotte Hornets. Maybe that's a Bam Adebayo bounce back spot. Maybe. Celtics against the Pistons. That should be disgusting. Peyton Pritchard night. Get ready for that. We got Cavs and the Wizards, which again, God, the Cavs getting Toronto, Detroit, Washington to start the season. I mean, good Lord, talk about easing into things. The Thunder and Bulls on Saturday, Magic and Grizz, Raptors and Timberwolves. Raps on a back-to-back getting the Timberwolves. And then you got Houston against San Antonio. Hopefully Wemby can turn it around. He just looked rough last night. And then, Saturday night prime time, Luka versus Booker. Get ready for that. I know Top Shot Common Man in the chat's excited. And then we've got Light the Beam against the Lakers. So Lakers will be on a back-to-back. I imagine if the Lakers win tonight, do we get no LeBron tomorrow? Something to think about, or no AD. I don't know. Something to think about. Back-to-backs. Got to pay attention to him. And then last but not least, on Sunday afternoon, still no Embiid, still no Paul George. 76ers against Pacers. Another opportunity for Drummond to absolutely cook. Same thing for Halliburton and Maxey as well. Bucks against the Nets. Pels and the Trailblazers. So we get 2 times Hawks, Thunder, Clips, Warriors. Bingo, bango, bongo. We did it. That is the schedule for this weekend. Let's throw the giveaway up there one more time. We also still have to give away the rare tier card from everybody that was tuning into our last show that we did, and we'll do that. We only have 88 entrants into the giveaway. Guys, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, hashtag Vegas. It's the only way it's going to work, baby. It is the only way it is going to work. So make sure you do that. And then we'll pop over to our friends over at Momentum Labs here so that you guys we can see some of the guys that are popping a little bit more. Oh, sorry. I tried to do a jump shoot said to quote tweet the initial tweet instead of just retweeting it, which was very smart jump shoot. He knows the algo. He knows how the algo works. How many subs are we up to, by the way, here? 2,729. Love to see it. Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob, is going to be joining us in just a little bit as well at the top of the hour, close to 6. So if you're like, hey, I want to see a second handsome face, we got one coming in a little bit. All righty, back over to some projections. So let's go. Down here at the bottom. Started at the bottom. Now we're still at the bottom. Yeah, Quickly's out tonight. Paul's letting us know. We kind of saw that coming. All right, here we go. We've got Julian Strother, one of the guys popping off the bench. We mentioned that. Didn't go like he's going to take some shots. So if the shots fall, I think Strother's kind of fun. And it's one of those ones where it's not a rookie, right? So it's not like a cap of 0. We got that cap of 2 projection of 11.5. So that's pretty fun if you want him. Jordan Hawkins, though, is really the standout play for me. We scroll up to a cap of 3, right? He's got a cap of 3 projects for just under 17 points. He was projecting like that, though, I feel like before DeJounte Murray was ruled out. So listen, guys, I think it's higher than that. People are saying don't sleep on Jamal Sheed. Man, are we just throwing ChatGPT names in here? No, Jamal Sheed. There you go. Cap of 0 projects for 13. Yeah, I just don't feel like doing the rookies. I feel like that's cheating. But yes, anybody that's got a cap of 0 that projects for double digits, lock and load, baby. Dario Saric is out there. He's doing some stuff. He's got a cap of 4, the projection of 12. What else we got here? Peyton Watson, again, another Denver Nougat. He pops well. I don't know. So after game week 1, right? Let's hear from the chat. I need to hear from you. After game week 1, everybody was losing their mind. They're like, we got to get these rookies. The only way you can win is if you play a rookie. And then Zach Edey was like, let me show you what rookies can do. Zachary Rissache, terrible French pronunciation. He also didn't stick around too long or didn't do too much off the bench. So after game week 1, are you guys out there trying to accumulate more of these 0 cap guys? Or are you big braining it? Are you gal braining? Are you like, I don't need a cap of 0. I can do this on my own. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are doing. Let's keep going here. Peyton Pritchard, fast PP. The shot fell in game 2, right? The shot fell in game 2. He was, I think he knocked down 5 triples. Also a half-court shot that didn't count. People in the chat that are throwing questions, I will get to your questions, I promise. We got to go through some of this first. We got to go through some of the projections first. But Peyton Pritchard in a game against Detroit, could be an opportunity to just crush. Borland making a point, too. If Minnesota does blow out the Raptors, who are on a back-to-back and shorthanded, most likely without IQ and RJ Barrett, do we finally see Dilly Bar, Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr.? Do they finally grace us with their presence on the court? Or is it still more, Nickeil Alexander-Walker? But anyways, let's keep moving. Jaden Hardy, too. Probably should shout him as well. Cap of 9 projects for 18. He seems to be like the good change of pace backup guard for the Dallas Mavericks. He looked solid last night. Christian Brown, Browntown. We already talked about him. Isaiah Jackson, questionable, I think, for the second game, though. I don't think he's playing tonight. So we have that. Is Ron Holland still projecting at 0? He should be playing again. Yeah, let me check Ron Holland, huh? Ron Holland he projects for 11 fantasy points. The other guy I want to highlight, Dyson Daniels here, cap of 13, projects for 21. And then I know I said Drum Dog Millionaire, but don't forget Plum Dog Millionaire. Plumlee is doing some backup work here for Yusuf Nurkic. And our guy Yusuf Nurkic likes to mess around and get into foul trouble. We saw it a little bit against Ivica Zubac and the Los Angeles Clippers in the first game. And now they play Anthony Davis and the Lakers tonight. And I don't know. That feels like a not great matchup for Stonehands Nurk. So if you think Nurk might get into foul trouble, you could roll out Plumlee. Doesn't mean Plumlee won't get into foul trouble. So definitely keep that in mind. But something to think about here. Let's see. Joke Rock said I threw all my 0 caps into lines to increase the number of entrants so I have a better chance. There you go. Smart. Let's keep moving over here a little bit. Sorry, guys. We're just checking one other thing while I'm doing this. I was double checking for some injury news. So we mentioned Dyson Daniels. He's great. Cole Anthony was coming off a very weird game for Orlando in game 1 against Miami. Now, they did beat the pants off of the Miami Heat. So maybe it was part of that. The game got out of hand. They were like, we don't need him out here. I don't know. Maybe Cole Anthony would get a little bounce back from him. Who else we got popping over here? I see we get some caps of 15s and Chris Boucher from the Toronto Raptors. I mentioned their lack of depth from the 5. It's Jakob Poeltl, Bruno Fernando, other guys that you guys are going to put in the chat being like, don't sleep on Jericho Johnson or something like that. I'm not buying it, guys. We also, in a cap of 17, Josh Giddey, right? He's popping. Wendell Carter Jr. pops as well for Orlando. And then Davion Mitchell for Toronto, because that's how down bad they are. Keontae George, let's talk about him in the Utah Jazz. I think people are a little nervous to play him right now because when we think of Keontae George, we think of the second half of last year after all of those guys are like sitting, right? Oh, Clarkson's out, Lowry's out, all these guys are out. Well, newsflash, they want to know how good Keontae George is, what they've got in him. And we saw him take a ton of shots in that first game against the Grizzlies, and maybe he didn't make a lot of them, but he's going to keep taking them. And so for a cap of 18, projects for 33, I'm not really concerned about the matchup against the Golden State Warriors. I don't know. I think you could throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? I think you could throw that out there. Yeah, Keontae Nuke of the night, which is a good callback. Get ready, go a little rant for a second. If you are somebody that does picks, right? That's like your job. You're like, oh, I'm a sports bettor, but I do for the people. I put stuff out there. Don't say stuff like that. I saw so many that was like, he's about to go nuclear. This guy's gonna nuke the slate. Nuke. Don't do that. Nobody's nuking anything. All right, relax with the nuke talk. We need a mental health check. Let's do this one. But I'm just not gonna do it, guys. And it feels good to not cave to the chat because I am the boss. Like I said earlier, I'm in charge today. I am in charge. You can't tell me what to do. I promise, guys, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm all right. But, man, it just sometimes we do one of those clips and it bums me out. I mean, I'm still hot. Like, I can still get it. But when we recorded that video, 10 out of 10. You know? Oh, there's another good one. 5-0 mega sweep. Make sure you like the tweet and I'll drop another play. I hate everybody. All right, let's do a little let's reset the table. Am I right, Weisberg? Let's remind people here we got that giveaway going because there's too many of you guys on Twitter. You haven't come over to YouTube yet, huh? You haven't come over to YouTube yet. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Vegas. We're going to be giving away a pair of NBA tickets. We will also be giving away a rare tier card in just a little bit. We got 250 of you watching on Twitter. If just half of you come over to YouTube, I'll take my shirt off. All right. I'll put another shirt on, but I'll take this one off. You know what I'm saying? But we got to do that before Rob gets here. We're going to act like an adult when Rob gets here. Okay. Also, the people of So Rare might be watching this, and I don't want them to regret what they've been doing. Look, I got Michael in the chat. Let's go. Michael's ready. Alberto's ready. Get those in there. Shout out to So Rare, too, for helping us out by giving away some NBA tickets today. That was pretty cool. And yeah, as Borland said, I'll drop a link right now into the chat. But if you guys want some more So Rare NBA talk, but you don't want the people in the So Rare NBA Discord that say crazy things like, well, I'm not going to do an example because maybe you're here, but you can join our Discord as well. So come pop in over here, baby. Come pop in over here. Yeah, don't embarrass Mike in front of the company. Thank you. All right, let's go back over to some projections. The other thing I wanted to do before I get into some of your QQs, some of your questions, you guys want to scroll up, maybe look at some MVP action here. So the MVPs that be straight popping, Victor Wembanyama, fellow Frenchman. I'm not a Frenchman, but like of the So Rare company. He's got a cap of 59. He projects this for 60. He is the highest projected guy up there Yeah, there you go. But he's only got one game if you're trying to be weird about it. Jokic, just a couple of, well, he projects actually 10 points less than him. That's interesting. Fresh off of Nikola Jokic's triple-double. Giannis projects for 60. They have 2 games this game week. The other potential MVPs, LeBron James, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Davis, all have 2 games as well. I think, listen, man, you might want to plant a flag. I was just going to say this. It's Hershey in the chat says Anthony Davis and then a bunch of greater than sign stuff. Nolan Kelly says y'all couldn't come up with your own name for a show. Oh, Nolan, great point, Nolan. Great point. Nolan, there has only been one show ever in the history of all fantasy sports that have never had live before lock. I promise you, whatever show you're thinking of right now, live before that show is based off another show. But I like it. Did they trademark it? Who do I owe the 17 cents that we make off this stream to? Who should I send it to? At me, let me know. Do I have to send it to Stochastic, to Awesemo, to Roto Grinders, to your grandparents? You tell me, Nolan, where you need that to go. You couldn't come up with your own PFP, Nolan? You got to use the Simpsons PFP? Nolan, what are you doing, son? You can't come at me, Nolan Kelly. I know your full name now, Nolan. All right, here we go. Let's get back to the projections. Man, imagine coming at me today. Today of all days, Nolan? God, Nolan, this started in 1992, Nolan. All right, let's keep going. Nothing but love for my guy, no dog, Nolan. All right, but I wanted to go back to the Anthony Davis conversation here for a second. What if LeBron sits that second game, man? If LeBron sits the second game, we might be having some fun here, I mean, I guess even if LeBron plays, we already saw AD go absolutely bonkers, right? Absolutely bonkers in game 1 against the reigning Aaron Borland, earmuffs, defensive player of the year, Rudy Fraud Gobert. I don't know. AD could absolutely cook in there. And then listen, it's the time of the show where we might have to start saying, is Jason Tatum a tier 1 MVP? Huh? Should we check in with our Boston Boston correspondent? Is Jason Tatum in a tier 1 MVP? You're goddamn right he is. Yeah, Jason Tatum's been absolutely on fire. Absolutely on fire. A couple other low-key MVPs that I think we could take a look at. Jalen Brunson, man. Again, I know he's not a clear guy here because he's not one of those top tier MVPs. But again, I really think he's going to play 40 minutes. I think he's going to play 40 minutes or close to it. If this game stays close, he's going to play a ton of minutes. I promise you, the New York Knicks do not want to go 0-2 after trading 3,000 first-round picks for that dinosaur jumper. They're gonna win. They're gonna try to win this game. So if this stays close, I think we could see a ton of points. And I think you could use that same argument for Tyrese Halliburton. I'll talk about my lineup in a little bit. I'm throwing Hallie into a contender. I did some finagling. He's in my limited contender. We do need a regular season Tatum drop too. Who are your top Battle Royale exposures tonight? I'm booked. I'm going to save that for Live After Dark just because I think I'll get in trouble if I start talking about the dog app. But give me Drum Dog. I got a lot of Drum Dog, a lot of Brunson. Any other actually, you know what? Let's get into some cues now. Let's get into some questions now since I've been vamping for 33 minutes already. We'll start with Jason Kim. What's up, Jason Kim? He says Dame or J-Dub. To me, that's a Dame. I love Jalen Williams. He's one of my favorite players right now to root for that's not on the Boston Celtics. But Jalen Williams right now has a cap of 39. He projects for 36.6. Dame time. I almost said Dame and Ayton, which was just really dumb. Dame projects for almost 45 or just over 45 fantasy points. And Dame time, we've seen him knock down some shots. J-Dub got a little dinged up right before the season started, looked a little rusty last night. I think I'd feel more comfortable playing Damian Lillard tonight versus J-Dub. I don't think you could go wrong, but my lean would be Dame time. Penguino Uno. Let's go Penguino Uno. He's looking for our friend, a contender under 30. I wanted to shout out somebody. How about Trey Mann? You guys want to get a little Trey Mann sighting? So we know Brandon Miller's going to miss the next week or so. We know that. There we go. Dustin Sandoval in the chat says, lock AD Lake Show all day, every day. Do I still have that drop? Yeah.
Oh my God. Lakers fans are the best. Lakers fans are so good.
There we go. That's a Dustin voiceover special right there. But anyways, Trey Mann, real quick for the Hornets with no Brandon Miller. He looked awesome in that game. I know it was pretty reliant on him knocking down a bunch of shots. But he's going to cap at 26. Projection's only 21. I'm going to do some Zakarian math. I feel like that's closer to 30. Some other guys in that range, you see, Brandon Ingram's cap is still only 27, which feels kind of crazy, right? But Brandon Ingram's pretty solid. Rudy's down there. You got Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner and Brandon Ingram are probably my two favorite ones. Again, I'm still just going to continue to lean on that game environment of Knicks Pacers. That gets me excited. It gets the juices flowing. Pick 2 of Dyson Daniels, Benedict Mathurin, Kessler, and Giddey. I'm going to rely on, I feel like those aren't those numbers all over the place though? Like, what is Mathurin's cap is 24, Giddey's is 17, Kessler's is 20, and Daniels is 13. So if it's just straight pick 2 there, Jack, I think I would do Kessler and Giddey, but Daniels is by far the best value, I think, of all of those. That's where I would lean. Alvarado and Drummond, or Ingram and Dyson. I think I would do the second one. I love Andre Drummond. He's one of my favorite plays. I'm not really sure what Jose Alvarado is bringing to the table here, Super Carl, for fantasy perspectives, at least this early. Let's see. His cap is 16. Yeah, I think I would go Ingram in the vacuum. Where can I build my lineups now that So Rare Data? Yes, yeah. R.I.P. So Rare Data. Pour one out for Lairdinho. Everybody at Andrew Laird. We use top tier projections, baby. That's where we go. Drummond or Brandon Ingram. There we go. I bet a lot of people are in that situation right now. I think I would go Drummond. There. MB Bid wants some thoughts on this champion lineup that he's cooking with. He's got Shea, Gilgeous, Alexander, Dyson, Maxey, Yeah, man. Okay, MB Bid is the first one guilty of this, where no, you didn't really do anything wrong. But you send me a message that's like, hey, is this lineup okay? And then it's a bunch of dope ass plays. Like, those lineups are great. Yeah, that's sick, man. Yes, good play. What about Garland and Turner this game week? Garland disappointed in the first one, Leon the Lion. Shout out Leon the Lion, who was on the debut show this season where he sniped a Luka. So Garland actually is projecting well in a lot of different metrics. He's going to cap at 31, projects for 34. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say 2 things to you right now, Leon Lion. We'll go full screen for this. I have never gotten Miles Turner right in my entire goddamn life. So anytime I've said, yes, Miles Turner, lock and load, he's gotten some good cardio in. And when I'm like, never Miles Turner, I'm never playing Miles Turner again, he goes out there and goes nuclear. Shout out a callback. That's a callback to our nuke god friends on Twitter. I would pick Turner over Garland, so that means probably take Garland. We got our guy Paul in the chat. Let's go, Paulie. I'm assuming this is Jalen Smith and Halliburton or Maxey or Lopez and Duran. That's tough, man. How many games does Jalen Smith have? That's probably something we need to learn. Jalen Smith, a lot of Jalen's in the league. Kappa 8 projects for 15.5, 2 games. I think I would go Smith. And then good luck picking between Halliburton and Maxey. My initial lean is Halliburton. But good luck. Daniel says, not going to lie, I got some good pieces in Underdog Limited, and I have a LaMelo. You have a LaMelo in your Underdog lineups? You guys should be doing this show. Maybe Nolan is right. I shouldn't be doing this show. Somebody else should. You guys are much better lineups than me. We got our guy Nick. He wants thoughts on Jokic, Sabonis, Harden, Bam, and Sar. Well, listen, on paper, Nick, this lineup 10 out of 10, A++. However, Bam Adebayo was scam Adebayo in game week 1. Am I right? Where was Bam? And then Alex Sar, that was tough. But this lineup is sick. This lineup cooks. Magnum wants me to pick 2 between Taylor Hendricks, Herb Jones, Harry Barnes, and Noah Clowney. Great question. I think Herb Jones is my first one in there. I'd probably go Herb Jones, Noah Clowney, Taylor Hendricks, Harrison Barnes. I'm excited about long-term future of Taylor Hendricks. A little bit nervous about short-term. He's going to get the minutes, though. If you want safety, go Herb and Hendricks. Sounds like a guitarist from 1980. Herbie Hendricks. If you want ceiling, I'd go Herb and Clowney. Nick Gaming, with the return of Nick Gaming. Good to see you, Nick Gaming. Wants to know about Tumani Kamara. He's got a cap of 20, projects for 18.5. He's going to start. He's going to be out there, but he's got a little bit of Taylor Hendricks in him where he's just going to be running around a little bit. 3DK55 is asking about Aaron Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins cap at 13, projects for 14. I know he had a really nice performance last night against the Denver Nuggets. I think he dropped 20 off the bench or something like that. So he looked good. All right, what else we got? Pick 2 between Sar, Edie, Risachet, and Strother. Well, first of all, Tom Brady is the GOAT, so that's a great name. That is a great name. I'd have him in the exact order that you have it, Tom Brady, GOAT. I'd have it Edie, Sar, Risachet, Strother, in that order. You know what? We haven't talked about the Gooner at all, have we? Shengun, cap of 43, projection 43. You know, it's a weird thing, man. He's not projecting super well on a lot of different projection sites for tonight's action. And I'm not trying to say IKB, I know better, I know ball, but I feel like Shengun looks awesome. My only concern was they went away from him in the second half against the Charlotte Hornets in their first game. But it's not like I'm scared of the matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think we have Triple J back yet, right? Excuse me. So he's going against the bigs of like Santi Aldama, Brandon Clark, and so on. So I'm not really too nervous about that. We got to do a drop here. We have to do another drop so I can cough it out here. Let's do you know who we should all be playing? Luka Magic. But I like Shingun. I'm pro Goon Squad. Let's go. Pick 2 between Mobley, Allen, Brown, and Poole. Is that Jaylen Brown? It's Mobley and Brown. Mobley and Brown. Reese was saying 2 players that make 35 cap for contender. Could you possibly do options in case I can't afford the best one? So the best scenario you can do is play Jordan Hawkins and then whoever you want. I think Hawkins or a rookie and whoever you want, right? I'm assuming you don't want to do that because you are like me and you are poor. So I think you want to live in this Dyson Daniels range, which is the cap at 13, which then math off the top of my head, math be math, and that gives you a cap of 22 that you can mess around with. And I think Naz Reid is fine. Karis LeVert, not projecting as well right now. I still think Karis LeVert's a pretty good play this game week, so I think you could mess around with that. Alvarado, 2 games versus the Blazers. I know 3DK. Alvarado makes sense. Alvarado. So do whatever you want. You want to play Alvarado, you should do it. Why did Sorare data went away? I don't know, but we should write in. We should do a write-in campaign. Speaking of campaign, don't play him. All right, cap at 37. Best plays for a cap at 37. Looks like Karl Anthony Towns. Again, that Knicks game. Also, hey, can we get a little love for Chet Holmgren, huh? Been wasting most of our lives living in an Amish paradise. Shut up, Weird Al Yankovic. Chet Holmgren was cooking last night. Chet Holmgren, second best player on the floor. Well, no, it's probably not third best player. Shea and Jokic, but good stuff. What else we got here in the chat? Thoughts on Bam Adebayo? Do you prefer Drum Bum? No, I love Andre Drummond. He projects awesome. I am not, in the year of 2024, going to ever put Andre Drummond in my lineup over Bam Adebayo on just straight points. You know what I'm saying? So I think I would still put Bam over him, but wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? I've seen weirder shit happen. CJ, McCollum, Siakam, or Vucci Mane. So, Alan, we haven't talked about CJ at all, and I'm surprised because you would think he'd be buzzing. He'd be boosted up a little bit because no DeJounte Murray, but I forgot his cap was already at 36 from that playoff run. So, I think I would, if it just straight upside, give me Pascal Siakam. Again, I'm going to continue to lean on that Knicks Pacers environment. I just like it. Buy Nick Smith Jr. a discount before he comes back. Dustin, is Nick Smith Jr. on the Lakers, or is that a take of somebody that's not on the Lakers? I forget who he played for. All right, let's see. I'm so far behind. Bull projection. I see what you're doing here, Swingman. And you know what? I will take the bait.
Bull.
His first name is Bull and his last name is Bull?
No, yeah.
Legs!
Yeah. Long legs.
Oh my God. I bet his legs are taller than my whole body. I'm leaving you for Bull. Like.
What a throwback. Dust in the chat, Greg in the videos. Wait, we gotta remind people here. We're doing a little giveaway. Did my mic just cut out? I will be so pissed off if that's what just happened. Remind the people of the giveaway, though. We've got 134 entrants. Actually, that might be almost everybody that's here on YouTube anyways. But if you're watching on Twitter, come on over. Come on over, baby. We're giving away a pair of NBA tickets and a rare tier NBA card. All you're going to do, like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Vegas. Actually, we are going to take this minute right now to do our other giveaway, which it's too late to enter. It's too late to apologize. Shout out One Republic. This was from our last game week. I'm sorry, this is from the game week 2 value hunting episode that dropped yesterday. So just a reminder, make sure you're tuning into that content. We drop that every, I don't know, probably Saturday and Wednesday. All right, here we go. So we had 51 entrants in this bad boy. 51, baby. This is for a rare tier card. I will send it your way if you win it. Here we go. What do we got here? Ooh, is it Sunshine 49er or JT Grogan? JT Dragon? JT Dragon? Was it a typo? JT, hit me up, JT. I got your YouTube name, so I'll reach out as well. But DM me if that was you. You just took down a rare tier card. And if you're like, ooh, I want one of those giveaways, well, make sure you're participating in our giveaway right now. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Hashtag Vegas, baby. Because again, if you guys missed it today, some pretty sick announcements from the So Rare team. Couldn't be more excited. They are giving away a freaking $15K every Tuesday and Friday throughout that entire run. That's what they're doing. Pretty hyped about it for the in-season Emirates Cup, for the Emirates Cup. We'll be excited to be doing content around there. And it's not a chase this time. It's just daily. So if your lineup sucks on Tuesday, you're not screwed. You come back on Friday ready to cook. So shout out the So Rare team for cooking themselves with this bad boy. Really liked what they did there. We dropped a video explainer if you hate reading. If you're like, hey, dude, cool blog, but I can't read. If you're like LeBron James, well, he can read just only one page at a time. Actually, I only made that joke because No Dunks did it today. So if any, like TM, trademark No Dunks, go ahead and check out the video that we dropped earlier today. All right, let's get back to the projections, back to them questions. I'm sorry if I missed some of your questions. I'm very far behind, so don't worry. Luka or Giannis, man, good luck. So we got Luka projecting for 56 with Giannis projecting for 60. I think the tiebreaker here, I think normally I would say Luka, but with Giannis playing 2 games, I'll mess around with it. Who's a good second MVP around $30 to $40 in limited? I don't really have the prices in front of me, Al Hoare. But the ones that I was like Jalen Brunson would be my favorite. I don't know his price right now. Brunson, Anthony Davis. I think Tatum low key. If you're trying to go cheaper, I think Halliburton is kind of fun with 2 games. And again, just love the environment tonight. And then I think everybody's pretty down on Scotty Barnes after game 1. I'm not worried. Paolo Banchero or Hallie from AA Ron. Give me Halliburton, but it's close. I think that's going to be a spicy take, Aaron. I think most people are going to take Paolo Banchero. Paolo probably has a safer floor just because Hallie's been kind of all over the place with his jumper. But I think I would lean Halliburton. Let's go. What else you got? 45 on Wemby head. Don't forget it. Alperin, the GOAT. There you go. Fave came back on Sorare NBA after a year break and got my first top 3. Oh, Fave, that actually pisses me off a little bit because I didn't take a year off and I didn't come in the top 3 in limited contender. All right. No, congrats though. Congrats. Is Bobo projecting at all? No, I don't think so. How's Javonte Green? Is he, sir, is Javonte, he projects for 9. I don't know if I feel like he's behind a bunch of guys, but I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. Reese is saying, is Jakob Poeltl going to kill my lineup because he got 11 last game? I do like Jakob tonight. I feel like Poeltl has a chance to do some stuff. Again, I think that Raptors-Sixers game feels gross on paper, but I think it has a chance to be close. And if it does, like, it's not like Poeltl's going to be losing minutes to anybody on the bench. And if he's going to be out there with Drummond, I feel like they both should eat. Why is Brown projecting so bad? He played almost all game yesterday in a blowout. Because Zealy, yesterday was his birthday. That was the Jaylen Brown birthday narrative. I think they just expect a blowout. Maybe because JB got to play that whole fourth quarter. Essentially, we see more of Drew Holiday, who didn't play too much, Al Horford, and then also Son Tatum, Jason Tatum, who didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. DJP in the house saying, rank these. D'Anthony Melton, Miles McBride, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Pat Wills. DJP, I would rank them in the exact freaking order you got them. Melton, McBride, DFS, and Pat. I'm just not playing DFS this year. JK says, how's Jericho Sims this week? We're going to do another mental health check, mainly because I need to take a breath, but also this is what's so messed up about this Sorare NBA game is we have to be like, hey, how is Jericho Sims projecting? And it's just tough. This is going to be a throwback. Now we'll do this one. I'm sorry this didn't come with a hand job. I just don't think it's included in the airdrops. It's stylistically, that's tough to include that in an airdrop. Man, so many of those mental health checks are just like from a long time ago. That was a mustache season. That was fun. Listen, Jericho Sims is a cap of 5. He projects for 8.5. But man, I like, obviously I like Karl-Anthony Towns more than Sims, but I just think that's the direction they go. I think they lean on their starters a little bit more today. Trey and Kyrie or Bai and Shai. I know that's BI. I think I would go Ingram and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I really like Trae Young. I think Trae Young's going to cook, but I think the combo of Shai and Ingram is a little bit higher than Kyrie, just because I think Kyrie's ceiling is going to be a little bit more limited this season, which is no shade against Kyrie. It's just every once in a while he's going to pop, but his cap's going to live in the low 30s. Thoughts on Zubac? Yo, we bought a Zubac, baby. I love Zubies. He's going to cap at 30, projects for 33. They got 2 games this game week. Light it up. Let's go, Zubs. We bought a Zubac. Highsmith and Gary Harris or Walker. Wait, Highsmith. How is that your how? What is Highsmith? What is Highsmith's? No. Walker Kessler. It's Walker Kessler. You shouldn't be playing either Gary Harris or Highsmith. I would just straight up. I would take both of those. How are we feeling about Podziemski this week, guys? Listen. We were firing we were firing on all Pod God cylinders this offseason. We read one athletic article that said Podziemski was going to shoot 8 to 10 threes a game, and we were like, and then Podziemski scored 0 points in the first game. Steve Kerr also came out and said, what if we play 45 guys, something that he did not do this summer for the Olympics. So I'm a little bit nervous on Podziemski. I still think he's very good at basketball, and I think at some point he's going to be useful. But if he's playing everybody 22 minutes, it's going to be hard for anybody to get there until their caps come down. So that's my Pod God rant, which bums me out a little bit because I'm a Pod Godder. Jack says, wait, you can't put players in pro pickup and common daily hoops. Wait, what? You can't put the same player in a game week and in the daily. No. Unless you have multiple cards. I think that's what you're saying. Is Chris Paul an option or who is better at? Yeah, I'm not. Guys, I don't think I'm playing Chris Paul this year. In that range, I like Rui Hachimura a little bit better. Who else do we like better? Down in the 23 range, give me Ben Simmons. Give me Malik Monk. Give me all those bros. I think I kind of lean in that direction a little bit more, which I know that's not fun, but I don't. Chris Paul makes me nervous. Trying to go big on underdog. Norman Powell. We got LaMelo, Strother, Hawkins. Yeah, dude, rock on. Thoughts on Jalen Johnson? One of my favorite players. I'm pro Jalen Johnson here. I wish his cap was a little bit lower. It's at 39 right now. I feel like his ceiling is 45, so there's not a ton of upside there in that range. And when you look at some of the other guys like regular season Randall, I think I'd prefer Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Julius Randle over him in that range. But I don't know. Who's taking the shots of Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges? Listen, I got a couple questions about this today. Shout out actually Jeb Bush. Does Miles Bridges have a ceiling? Well, we do know that Miles Bridges is a piece of shit because we're out on domestic abuse. However, he's got a cap at 34 and he projects for 31. In that game against the Houston Rockets, Brandon Miller got hurt in the first half, and it's not like Miles Bridges' numbers all of a sudden got better in the second half. Now, this matchup against Atlanta, very different than it was against Houston. So maybe he's a little bit more effective, but I don't know how much ceiling is there. I wish his cap was closer to like 24, 26, something like that. But that's my Miles Bridges stuff. What else do I have? I want to play Jimmy, but God, he was ass last week. Yeah, Jimmy was tough last week, but I don't. Miami's going to bounce back. We also might look at that game 2 weeks from now and just be like, wow, holy shit, the Orlando Magic, really good, right? That might be the takeaway in a couple weeks. Big hair. Is my hair that big? Oh, that's from you're talking about the video, I think. Tyus Jones or Jeremy Grant, I'm assuming that is. So Tyus Jones, man, cap of 29, projection of 17. It's kind of tough. Right? I don't really love it. Oh, thank you, Bobby Rock. I don't love either of these plays, man. And sorry, that's not about you. That's not personal. I think you're a nice guy. Jeremy Grant is a cap of 26, projects for 30. He clearly projects the best. I'm a little bit nervous about Like Tyus Jones is going to be very good for the Phoenix Suns offensively and just sort of getting everybody where they need to be. Fantasy-wise, though, maybe not as fun. Any other tools that I can use for lineup builders on NBA Sorare? The only thing I can shout out, Trent, but it's behind the paywall, but you can do a 1-week free trial and you get 10% off using our code TEAMHOLD10. You can find a link to it in the show notes, but Top Tier Projections, they have an optimizing builder for you. There's also Sorare NBA Jet, but I don't have an affiliation with them, so I can't plug them as much. You know what I'm saying? Is there a crazy rookie projection? All of them, Nick. All of them. Because they all have a cap of 0 and they all project for like 18 to 24. Did I miss the NBA Cup talk? So, Salvin, I talked a little bit up top, but I also did a video of it. So once live before lock is over, get your training lineups in, and then go watch that video and I break it down. Patrick says Vooch or Allen, Vucci Main or Jared Allen. Listen, this is going to be unpopular. I think I'm going to go Vucci Main. I think it's Vucci Main season. Giacomo says D'Lo. Sorry, I was looking at a different comment that we'll get to in a second. D'Angelo Russell cap at 30 projects for 31. Listen, he did not shoot the ball well in game 1, but they do. Listen, let's actually go back to this because we were talking about Anthony Davis potentially being a great play this game week because maybe LeBron sits the back-to-back. You know who won't sit the back-to-back? That thong. Shout out Cisco, D'Angelo Russell. The hair, baby. D'Lo, if he plays a game without LeBron in it, that's just more shots for him. So D'Lo, that's actually a sneaky good play. And Sean, this is what I was laughing at. Mike, what's your best financial advice for the day? That's what I'm talking about. Set me up, kid. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right? That was some John Stockton pre-QAnon stuff there by Sean with the setup. That was very nice. Thank you. We didn't talk a lot about Mathurin. I know somebody asked about it earlier. I do like Benny Math. Cap of 24, projection of 22.5. I wonder if we start saying Benny Meth, like if he goes crazy. All right, what else? Cody Williams or Jericho Sims? God, Jason. Somebody give Jason a hug. This is a tough spot to be in. Cody Williams, cap of 0, projects for 10. So it's Cody Williams. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Cody Williams just straight up has a higher projection than Jericho Sims, and the Knicks have like 1.5 big dudes right now. Jeremy Grant, Jonas Valanciunas, or Keldon Big Body Johnson. It's probably Joe Val. Even though Jonas didn't start that game, he's got a cap of 25, projects for 28. Even though he didn't start that game in 20 minutes, he had like 13 and 8 or whatever it was. Zealy, look at Zealy doing the work, putting how many games in parentheses. That's what I'm talking about, Zealy. Bane with 2 games, Vucci with 2 games, Derek White with 1, JB with 1. I think I'd let's look up Vucci's Bane and Vucci. So Bane has a cap of 38, projects for 35. You got Vucci, who has a cap of 39, projects for 34. And then Jaylen Brown, not Kobe Brown, not Bruce Brown, Jaylen Brown, cap of 40. Wow, he projects really low. Yeah, so I think I would go Desmond Bane. Grizz and grind. Final one, Kevin Porter Jr. or Dario Saric. God, again, another John Stockton-esque assist right here. Let's hit him. Hit him with the answer. Let's hit him with it.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things in buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Speaking of beautiful stuff, look at that, Boston Base. You guys can actually find a link to join the VIP membership program. Boston Base just gave one away to the chat. I believe it's like $3.99 or $4.99 a month. We do a daily show looking at the So Rare daily games. We also go over some underdog pick'ems and underdog daily ranks. It also gets you access to all of our value hunting episodes before that stuff happens. You get some weekend content. And then we have Live After Dark, which episode 2, Live After Dark, right after this show ends. All right, I lost my spot here. Oh, but I found it. Are these the same projections as top tier projections? No, Requi, I go back and forth. Top tier projections, a little bit smoother with using your own collection and projections, but because that is behind the paywall, I only show those at the beginning of the show to look at some of the value, and then we use some Momentum Lab stuff that's a little bit more available to the public. Nick Gaming with maybe the question of the slate, Şengün or LaMelo Ball? I think it's probably LaMelo Ball, even though I want to say Şengün. I just like the environment a little bit better for LaMelo than I do for the Gooner. What else we got? Is Cam Thomas taking 50 shots again? Yes, every single game. It doesn't mean they're all going in, but he will be taking 50 shots. He will. Who do you think could pop on the Pacers, says Gaz. Gaz, or is it Jazz? Is it a hard G or soft G? I am leaning I am leaning at the Halliburton, Siakam, Miles Turner. And then if you're going for a stretch, I think one of Benedict Mathurin or Andrew Nembhard could pop as well. Let's remind the people for the giveaway here. We've got a pair of NBA tickets we're still set to give away, which we'll be doing at the end of the show. We also have a rare tier card that we will be giving away as well. Our guy, Rob Perez, is going to be joining us here in probably 10 minutes or so to talk about the rest of the slate. We can go over some lineups, but until then, we're going to be still hammering some questions, baby. I'm not even going to look up Gary Harris, Trent. There's no way he's projecting well. I'm going to tell you right now, the play is Trey Mann. So Trey Mann projects for 20, but it should be closer to 30, in my opinion. Gary Harris projects for 5. We can't do it. Can't play Gary Harris. Not in 2024. Maybe not since 2016. Could you play him? All right. Why is James fraud? Okay. Are you just making up names right now? Alan, is this a test? There's a guy named Alan. Oh, wait, I spelled it wrong. There's nobody. Alan got me, dude. He got me. What else you got? Did I catch up on the chat? Holy hell. We caught up. I'm so caught up. That's impressive. That we're an hour in. We're up to. Top Shot Blazers wants to know. You looking for Andre Drummond projections? Jack said, "Is it free?" No, it is behind a paywall, but it's peanuts. It's not very expensive. We'll go back over to top tier here in a second. Andre Drummond, cap of 26, cap of 25, projects for 36. Yeah, I'll show you what. We'll take another look at top tier projections. I do recommend sign if you're only playing limited, it might not be worth it because it is a little expensive. But if you got a pretty big gallery, you're doing a bunch of contests, it's pretty slick. Like you can go to my collection, and then I'll show you how it works for common. So this is going to use my common cards, and I'm going to do in-season content or in-season champ for my common cards. Ready? We'll run it, and then it spits out my lineup of Kuzma, White, Rui, Pritch, and Wemby. Right? So it automatically does that for you. We can look at all the projections here. Like it also has Wemby and Giannis, the two highest projectors, but AD's right behind them. So AD, again, one of the cheaper MVPs that could absolutely pop. So there's a link to this in the show notes too. So go check it out. Go check it out, girls. Go check it out. You get 10% off using T-Mobile 10. You also get a free week. How much? I'll put it in I'll update the description, ukulele, after the show. After the show, I'll update the description with the link. That's also true, Tesla. This is also true. What else we got? What else do we have? Best man, a lot of people stuck in this 24 range, huh? I actually like going down a little bit further. That's what she said. I really like Karis LeVert. I think Grady Dick is a little underrated, even though he's not projecting super well. Again, no Emmanuel quickly. Grady Dick, actually, the only player that looked like something for Toronto in that game. And then down to cap of 20, Walker Kessler, who we talked before game week 1. Walker Kessler, block machine, the block god, Walker Kessler. So I do like him quite a bit as well. What else we got? Pick a lineup. Contender, Duran and Boucher, or champion, Jokic and Bane. Okay, this is good, Zealy. For both, I will add Giddey, Gobert, and Trey. I would go the champion, Jokic and Bane. Jokic and Bane is what I would do. Garland or Turner? That's questions come up a couple of times. I think I lean Turner over Garland, and this is when I said, but be careful because I've been wrong about Miles Turner a bunch. We haven't talked about Scary Terry at all. Garland's going to project a lot better than him. Scary Terry only projects for 24 to 25 points, so I'd stay away. Anthony Simons. So Anthony Simons, man, I'm such an Anthony Simons fan. Cap 38 projects for 37.5, Ibrahim. So it doesn't have huge ceiling from him. However, the Blazers do have 2 games. No DeJounte Murray. That's a ding to the defense. I don't think Herb Jones probably gets the Jeremy Grant assignment, right? So that means that Simon should get free reign against CJ McCollum, and CJ McCollum not necessarily playing defense. So I kind of like that a little bit. Boston Base with a really good So Rare question said, do you ever lazily fill a trash barrel knowing that you'll just dump it into a trash bag eventually? No. I take my trash seriously, Boston Base. I'm not trying to get fined by the state of New York, okay? Because that's what they do. They fine you. If you put your trash out in a weird way, They don't like that. They don't like that. Anyways, that's where I'm at. What else we got? Any other did we get all the questions? Look at us. I'm proud of the work that we're doing here today. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff by everybody involved. Again, Rob's going to be joining us here in just a few, and we'll be breaking down some stuff. Is Curry out? No, you know what? Actually, let's switch over to Twitter. Let's switch over to Twitter and go check out, see if we got any more injury news. Holy crap. Inception. Let's go check out Underdog and see if we got any more NBA news here. All right. So lineup alert. Nick Claxton, after trying to kill Dyson Daniels, is going to get increased minutes on Friday. Magic are starting Suggs, Caldwell Pope, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., RJ Barrett officially out. Emmanuel Quickly got that old pelvic. He's out at least 2 games. Jonathan Isaac ruled out for a hip. Somebody said it was jury duty, but it's a hip. And then Bub Carrington, that's where we left off. So because somebody just asked, what do we think of Scotty with RJ and Q out? Yeah, man, listen, I do like me some Scotty. I do. I have a lot of them on the Underdog app tonight. Barnes, my only concern with Scotty, right, is that he's going to cap 43, projects for 48.5. They're going to have to key in like solely on Scotty Barnes, right? There's like no other Raptor that Philly's going to have to defend. Now, the counter is like, well, what defenders do Philly have right now? Like, who's covering him? KJ Martin? Is KJ Martin getting the assignment? I don't know. Overrated or underrated having a breakdown on the internet? Wait, what's that about? Who's having a breakdown? What did I miss? Underdog just put out a 60% boost. Oh my God. I am so poor. All right. This is you know what, Jason? This is a good conversation starter here. Let's just go to the rookies here. Let's go to the rookies. Let's go all the way down to the rooks, and let's just rank some rooks. Ranking rooks with Mike Zakarian. Alex Sarr, Zach Edey, clear top plays for the rookies. They've got the best chance at hitting some upside. I then would go Klingon and Missy after that, and then maybe Yabusele. And then it's probably Risa Shea, and then everybody's favorite Jamal Sheed. That's kind of where I land on those. But you asked about Ron Holland. Ron Holland and Cody Williams project for basically the same. Ron Holland a little bit more. So there you go. Best players under 5 non-rooks. It's going to be Julian Strother and Jordan Hawkins. Those are your best plays. You also have Shake It Up Milton, Jet Howard, Ty Jerome, Anthony Black. Those are your options down there. How do you feel about? Oh, you was referring to a friend who had one a few weeks. Oh, okay. But what was this? I think I missed the lead into this. My bad. How do you feel about Jamal Murray against the Clips? A little bit nervous about the Jamal Murray experience right now, guys. And you guys know me. I love Jamal Murray. He's one of my favorite players. I root for him hard. You know, not everybody posts themselves getting some on the internet on Snapchat like our guy Jamal Murray did. So I'm a big Murray fan. A little bit nervous with what we've seen so far. Is Royce O'Neal playable for champion? No, I don't think so. You could talk me into it for contender. He's got a cap of 18 with a projection of 15. His ceiling's probably like 22. You know what I mean? He's like 22. We got Suda says Ja. Okay, Ja and Jamal Murray are Jokic and Hawkins. Wow. Let's see what Jamal Murray projects for here. That's a crazy combo. So Jamal Murray projects for 35. Hawkins projects for 17. Jokic projects for 50. And what was the other one? Yeah, you got to go John Jamal Murray. That's a fun one, though. That is fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I do like LaMelo tonight, too. I do. All right, good stuff there. Good stuff. What's our give? You know what? Should we give away the rare tier card now? Let's give away the rare tier card now, and then we'll close out with the NBA tickets at the very end. But let's do actually, I'll let the chat decide. Do you want to do the So Rare NBA card right now? No, I'm not letting the chat decide. You know why we're not letting the chat decide? Let me remind you why we're not letting the chat decide, okay? But I'm just not going to do it, guys. And it feels good to not cave to the chat because I am the boss. Like I said earlier, I'm in charge today. I am in charge. You can't tell me what to do. That's right. You can't tell me what to do. Not today, not ever. Not you, Nolan. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing but love, Nolan. All right, we're up to 155 entrants. This is going to be for the rare tier card giveaway. We'll give this away at the end of the slate or at the end of the show. And if you win, you got to just shoot me a DM at Mike Zakarian, whether it's on Twitter or in the Discord, which if you haven't joined the old Discord, make sure you do that. I'll drop a link to that into the chit chat right now. Right now, we'll drop that in there. And we'll give this bad boy away. And then again, the NBA tickets we will do towards the end. And then don't forget, if you haven't signed up for the membership, that should be pinned into the chat. That should be the pinned chat to sign up for our membership program. Our guys, Boston Base and Top Shot Tesla, gave some of those away. If you haven't signed up yet, please go sign up. It's a great way to support the channel. It's also you also get really good content from it. Stratsy says, on average, how many mental health checks do you do per stream? We hit the over. We hit the over in this show for sure. It's because I have done so far 70 minutes of content solo. All right, we're at 70 minutes so far. So we got to take breaks so I can take sips of water. You know. Trent says, Bam, Terry, Rozier, Butler, or Schroeder. Is that pick one? Trent, is that pick one? What are you asking here, brother? Is that pick one? All right, let's do it. This is the rare tier card giveaway. If you haven't done it yet, like the stream, subscribe, #Vegas. We're going to give this away here in just a moment. In just a moment, we're giving it away now. Trash European in the house. Let's go. That name always cracks me up every time. Let's give this bad boy away here. For a rare tier card. Now, they're not like great rare tier cards, all right? I'm going to be honest about it. These are like lower level ones. I'm not giving away my good stuff right now because my identity got hacked, remember? It's just a few short days ago. Just a few. All right, please, what stimulants, if any, you take? Paces Incredibles is Boston Sean. Boston Sean, you know what stimulants I take? From Boston. That's right. That's that Northeast cold-ass energy. Did you ever solve that issue? Yeah, we finally got, for the chat that was wondering, every once in a while I get an email from India being like, hey, we tried to log into your Facebook. We solved it though. We got our banking information back. Jokes on them because I am so poor. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's give this thing away. Also just got an email from Wob, said he's coming in hot. Which are good. That's what we need. I need someone to match this. All right, we had 160 entrants into the giveaway. Let's do it. Sammy Adams kid from Boston. Here we go. The winner of the rare tier card. Who we got? Mike Smith. Couldn't have come up with a more generic ass name, but let's go. Shut up, Mike Smith. The chat's going to be like, this isn't a real winner. This is just you. This is your burner. Mike Zakarian, Mike Smith. Mike Smith, congrats, man. Shoot me a message either at Mike Zakarian on Twitter or in the Discord. We'll hit you up with a rare tier card. And a reminder, you still have an opportunity to win NBA tickets. We're going to be giving that away. But enough of me talking as fast as I can without actually saying anything. Instead, what we'll do now is bring on somebody else that's good at talking, also by himself at times. We got Rob. Rob, what's going on, man? How we doing?
Oh, God. Someone else that's good at talking. Like, we don't do enough of that on here, yapping away about the NBA. But it's about that time, isn't it? We reached the Friday 10-game slates at a bare minimum. 10 games, 11 games, 13 games.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I know, 25 over the weekend, right? Like they eased us in with that a 4-game slate, and then bang. Now we're like drinking water through a fire hose. Or how are you feel? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, welcome back. I mean,
yeah,
had the whole summer getting a little bored. And then I think the fire hose example is the best example of it. Doing 5 hours of radio every single day, trying to get Sorare and bets in, as these lineups turn over. The first big CLV spot of the season was Zion Williamson on Wednesday night, not being in the lineup. And, you're getting CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram into your lineups as quickly as possible. DeJounte Murray ends up breaking his hand. I think, did he play all the way through to the finish there?
Yeah, I think he might have missed like the last like 5 minutes or something like that because he played 31 minutes in that game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he hit all of his overs, his prop overs in that, but getting to the finish line with a broken hand / wrist, impressive work.
Yeah, I'm actually so they're playing the Blazers both games this weekend, which I think is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Fun for them because it's
Yeah,
the Blazers. Yeah.
but I'm kind of like, we're talking about CLV and fantasy plays and so rare specific. I if DeAndre Ayton was ever gonna have a monster weekend, is it this weekend? Like who's covering DeAndre Ayton this weekend for the Pelicans?
Well, the good news is you're talking to someone who does a daily show with Antonio Daniels, who's the color commentator for the Pelicans broadcast. I asked him this question directly. We led the show off with it today, and I'm like,
Oh,
who the hell's going to play? I know Zion's back, but they've been talking about him being a ball handler at the top, playing
yeah.
5-out, 0-in offense. They don't want to say he's a small ball 5 because then that puts him in a certain category, but that's exactly what he's going to be. And without DeJounte Murray out there, are we moving CJ McCollum to on the ball, or are we going to see Zion Williamson dribbling up and initiating offense? The Cleveland Cavaliers are trying their version of that with Evan Mobley right now. That's been Kenny Atkinson's initiative. I heard it directly from him on a trip to Cleveland that you're going to see a lot of ball handling from these unicorn bigs. And now that Zion Williamson is out there without DeJounte, it's just more opportunity for him to do just that. So this will be his first game of the season, but I will be interested to see exactly how that goes. Because if he's being guarded by, let's say, DeAndre Ayton, good luck, DeAndre, guarding Zion Williamson from 30 plus feet away from the rim. Or if you're going with the small ball 5, that's where DeAndre will probably have his advantage. So I would look to see Zion on the perimeter tonight, which means things like assists are going to be more prevalent when he's driving, kicking, as opposed to just feed me 2 spoons down there on the block. Doing what he normally does.
I feel like everybody, as long as the Blazers, which I don't know how many close games they're going to play this season, but if they're able to keep this close, I feel like that's going to be some fantasy goodness in that game. Might get a little throwback. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram looked awesome in that first game. I know that was without Zion, so maybe like you temper the expectations a little bit with Zion coming back on there. And then I'm like low-key like pretty excited about that rookie they got, Yves Missy from Baylor. And because they're so desperate. I mean, listen, I'm a Celtics fan. We had Daniel Tice out there a couple of years ago for Boston. He's fun to have him around there.
He is what he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's Mason Plumlee with a 3-point jump shot. He's like the perfect backup. You need to have an Andre Drummond. You need to have a Daniel Tice. You need to have a Mason Plumlee as a backup, or in the case, the best backup in the league, Isaiah Hartenstein, gets a bag for being that good of a backup, but he can also be thrust into action full time if needed. There was no way Misi was ready, but they have no other choice. And he went out there and had himself a night.
Yeah.
And Antonio was talking about him during training camp in the preseason. The kid's obviously talented, but to ask him to be playing 30 plus minutes a night efficiently is a big ask, but he delivered against a Chicago Bulls team. And the Portland Trailblazers aren't going to be putting much up resistance themselves. No. So maybe that's a buy low candidate as we, pivot this conversation to markets and things like that. I would be looking out for him, especially if this Pelicans depth chart thins up a little bit. Trey Murphy III is going to be out for a little bit. DeJounte obviously out. And if the Daniel Tice thing is just very Daniel Ticey,
right,
you might see the kid in action a lot more than you think.
Yeah. Is there, and I know you touched on Evan Mobley again. I think that's somebody who people have felt burned on from the fantasy perspective, from the Sorare perspective, just because he's always like, he's got the ceiling. You think you get the ceiling, these like 5-6 blocks games, and then he would kind of disappear. Honestly, a little Bam Adebayo-esque, again, from the fantasy perspective, not from the on-court perspective. But I feel like there might be an opportunity to get ahead of the Mobley, I don't want to call it a renaissance, but whatever we're about to see from Mobley.
You better buy now. I mean, what's your price on Sorare right now? It's got to be like in the low 30s would be my guess.
That's a good question. Let me actually pull up the marketplace, which, by the way, if you guys are watching right now, whether on Twitter or on YouTube, if you haven't signed up for Sorare yet, it's a daily fantasy game that we've been playing and grinding out. We get a bunch of content for you that you can get you started. We have a link to sign up right in the chat. They just dropped some pretty cool stuff for the Emirates Cup. So if you're ready to get in on some, you want to come to Vegas, get involved right now. But yeah, let's pull up Evan Mobley here on the marketplace. We'll just
Mike,
look at
I shared the Twitter link. Is that okay? I know you're
Oh,
live across multiple channels, but I
yeah.
put
That's
the
perfect.
Twitter one
That's
out there.
perfect.
Okay.
And if you are watching on Twitter, we're giving away some NBA tickets here. You got to be on the YouTube side of things in order to qualify for that. So just come on over to YouTube. You can just find it at Elite Fantasy Hoops. All right. So Mobley, yeah. So he's got a cap of 37, which is kind of high, but you can get him for as low as $15 right now. But I'm with you, man. Kenny Atkinson kind of like opens some doors for some bigs, and they're using Mobley a little bit, at least in game one. I know small sample size. Also against Toronto, who had Jakob Poeltl and then a bunch of made up names for bigs because I forget who else. Oh, like Kelly Olynyk didn't play. But it does feel like I could see this like 3 weeks from now, and we're like, holy shit, Mobley averaged like 20, 10, and 8 for like 2 weeks.
That's 37's too low. He played 26 minutes opening night, maybe 27 minutes. He was taken out of a blowout. Still put up what? I don't have the box score in front of me. And it had to be like 25, 8, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Every stat category had at least a 3 in it. It felt like he's going to be involved as the hub on offense, and he's been unlocked completely. And it is Kenny Atkinson's initiative to have this guy as the focal point. Spoke with Donovan Mitchell himself in Cleveland, and he said one of the biggest reasons why I decided to come back to Cleveland was because Evan Mobley is going to be here long term. He was excited to play alongside him, and of course, he's not ever going to say, "I don't like Evan Mobley.
Right.
I wish he was gone." Right. So it's pretty obvious, but I found the answer to be authentic when he was alluding to, what he does, he's going to do his thing. But the ceiling of this team, everyone we spoke with agreed that they can't reach their championship aspirations, which is their ceiling to come out of the Eastern Conference, without Evan Mobley being the best player on the team. Because if he is, and then Donovan Mitchell gets to be that supplementary type of offense, then the Cavs are in a really good spot. And they're back into that top tier echelon with like the Knicks, the Celtics, the 76ers, and the Bucks.
It totally raises their ceiling. Like they just become a different team instead of just like, oh yeah, they're a fun first round. Maybe it goes 6 or 7 games. Maybe they get in the second round, but no like real aspirations for a title. But if Mobley is unlocked, and honestly glad Kenny Atkinson getting another shot at it. Glad he waited and took Cleveland instead of the Charlotte job that he almost took and then was like, no, not yet. And he was such a good coach with Brooklyn that I'm excited that he's popping now. And that he just a much better environment, although Charlotte's kind of fun. I wanted to talk a little bit Knicks Pacers because, again, from the Sorare side of things, I feel like that game is going to put up a ton of points just because the Pacers are like, let's run as fast as we can. And I just don't see this iteration of the Knicks team playing a slow, defensive, grinded out brand of basketball, at least not in October. I feel like they can morph into that when we get later in the season. And I also think the minutes are probably going to be pretty condensed in New York for tonight anyways, just because they're so thin, especially with like Cat. I don't know. How are you feeling heading in? I guess just Knicks in general. How are you feeling after?
Well, you're right that they do have the highest over under of any game in the early slate. Once you get to the 8 p.m. Easterns and beyond, the number goes up, but it is 227.5. So doing the math on that, that means both teams are predicted to score 114 points minimum each, which is a pretty decent number there. So the Knicks have a thin rotation in theory because what's his face? Mitchell Robinson not around. Who else am I missing?
Precious, no Precious.
Oh yeah, Precious. The front line is thin. So you're looking at on my team. I don't know how to pull up my screen for my team, but I bought Jericho Sims cards because he costs like 3.
Yeah.
What is that, a hexagon? What is that blue? I need to give that a shape name. Is it a hexagon or a pentagon or whatever the hell it is?
Wait, the cow is cap. Yeah. Let me zoom in
the salary cap. How many sides are on it? Can you zoom in?
That's a good
1, 2, 3, 4. It's a hexagon.
Yeah, hexagon. There we go. Hexagon.
Okay. All right. So I picked up Jericho Sims because he was just so cheap, and I thought if Karl Anthony Towns gets into foul trouble, I mean, look at that. I mean, you can play him. Of course, you need production from everywhere, but in the case that you nail it and Cat is either injured or in foul trouble, this is the last line of defense. There is no Precious Achiuwa. There is no Mitchell Robinson. Jericho Sims was getting minutes even in a blowout against Boston opening night. This is as cheap as it will get, especially until Precious comes back. So if you're Cat's the obvious one, and he will certainly fill it up against the Indiana Pacers defense. Miles Turner and there's not enough there to scare you away from Cat.
Right.
But there's something can happen, and if it does, that's how you win these leagues, is by finding that one in football, that vulture running back that costs $1, and then he's in the lineup, and ends up being your highest scorer just because of the way events transpired that night. So this is where I'm looking in this game from a Sorare standpoint, from a buy low standpoint. And yes, absolutely, there's going to be points scored. It's a revenge spot for the Knicks losing game 7 at home, Jalen Brunson breaking his wrist. Josh, of course, they're going to want to come out and remind them that we were the team that was supposed to advance to the conference finals if healthy. And coming off a loss against Boston too. They're in front of the home crowd, and you should expect the Knicks in their optimal form. And I guess the last thing I'll say, I can yap about the Knicks forever, but keep an eye out for Pacome Dadier. Because if Mikal Bridges, to his credit, he had a much better second half, but the sirens were going off in that first 2 quarters with the shooting form and his inability to knock down threes, as he was 2 of 19 from outside the arc during the preseason. And Dadier, who's a guy who was supposed to be stashed in Europe so that the Knicks could go retain Hartenstein, there he is. And he didn't put up any numbers that were worthy of you putting him in your lineup. But he might get opportunity fast, is my point.
And I feel like he got in before the blowout happened too, right? Wasn't his first rotation?
He was getting real rotation minutes, yes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy for a Tom Thibodeau team.
I know, and that's actually what made me nervous about Jericho Sims, but I honestly didn't run through the foul trouble simulation where if Cat does pick up 2 quick ones early, then Sims is going to have to get a lot of, Sims is going to get burned anyways, but I just know I don't think Tibbs is wrapping his arms around Sims, giving him a hug very often. And I think he'd be if Dadier is able to show anything, I think you're right that he could find himself with some real run. And he's one of the, I don't know how locked in you've been to Sorare in the week 1, but they've done this weird thing with the rookies because they don't have an L10. They haven't played 10 games yet. So their caps are all 0. So all of the rookies end up being phenomenal plays. But Dadier is one that hasn't been discussed quite a bit because I think you were saying, I don't think anybody thought he was going to get real rotation minutes out the gate. And that was something I definitely took note of after game 1 because I was impressed to get out there in that first run.
Well, if you're doing daily leagues like the free leagues, of course, you want players that are going to be performing that night. But if you're purchasing cards potentially for the future, and look, the starting price on the buy now, let alone what you could probably get in an auction right now, pennies on the dollar. And if you're taking flyers on guys that could potentially stumble into 25, 30 minutes a night, that's what you're aiming for. Every player in the league is great. Okay. They wouldn't make the NBA unless they were good, but you're trying to find those diamonds in the rough when it comes to opportunity. And with a very thin New York Knicks team right now, you're looking at Jericho Sims and Dadier to fill in for either Karl Anthony Towns and or Mikal Bridges if something goes wrong. Right. So that's what my head is always at. And you brought up the rookie thing. As soon as I saw that, I bought Reed Shepherd and put him on. Put him on my limited team because he cost 0. So it allows me to put LaMelo Ball and Nikola Jokic, and I stacked my roster and just surrounded him with Reed Shepherd, who cost 0 towards the salary cap. So it's incentivizing you to find these particular guys. If you took an Alex Sarr, that's too bad because you thought you might get a steal last night, but you didn't get many minutes.
And that's what was kind of crazy about Sarr too, is that and that's why this cap game is so fascinating, was so rare, where because his cap was only 0, he's still got 15 so rare fantasy points, and that's still crushing his cap of 0. If you had a guy that had 20, his cap was 20 and he scored 35, you'd be doing victory laps. But the Sarr stuff was, again, it was a little rough. He had a good first 5 minutes, and then it was scary after that.
What do you think the percentage of players on Sorare that had Zach Edey opening night, if his cap was 0? It had to be north of 80%, right?
Yeah, because anybody that had him, anybody that purchased an Edey played him. No one was purchasing him to stash him. So that's what was so wild about that, because everybody was so pissed. They were like, "Oh, you shouldn't be able to do this. It's a unfair advantage or whatever." And then they ended up not performing. And now all of a sudden
he fouls out in 15 minutes. Talk about the karma, right?
And now you have massive leverage if you didn't play one of those guys who did nothing. Your lineup's automatically unique from all of those people that went out there and played those rookies. And it is so funny that the rookie class just got hammered all the way up to the draft. right? And then the draft happens, everybody's so underwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. Yet when the auctions start, everyone's pissed off that these underwhelming rookies are now the talk of the town, and then they still disappointed. So it was just a funny full circle moment when poor Edie falling out right away. He got Walker Kessler.
I'm telling you, it had to be north of 80%. Anyone that had a card, if you weren't playing him, I mean, what was the whole point of buying him?
Right. Because
you're not playing him at a zero salary cap.
Right. You were paying him for the premium of those first. Now, granted, he could come out and crush this game week, this weekend, and then you're fine. Yeah. But yeah, there was, I'm sure, some buyer's remorse.
Was there a single rookie who filled up the box score opening night? And I mean, filled up the box score, like for real?
No, I mean,
Lisa Shea, no. Edie, no. Sar, no. Dadier, no.
Literally, it's probably Missy. Missy was probably the best performing one, and I don't think anybody was playing him. I don't think nobody knew who he was.
Steph Castle, no.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Anybody else kind of we can kind of look at some of the schedules and stuff like that heading into the weekend. But was there anybody else like early on that you're kind of? I know we mentioned Mobley. Who is it? Mobley's not a sleeper. Everybody knows who Mobley is, but I do think Mobley's making a jump. Anybody else that you're kind of excited to get out in front of here before a run happens?
I'm scrolling the games tonight to give me some inspiration. I bought in an auction. I have Trey Mann because
hell yes.
Now that the dust is off, he was sitting on the shelf in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Is there a way to look up my team through?
Yeah. What's your handle?
It should just be Worldwide Wob or maybe underscores between. It's one of them. It's either that one or underscores.
Here we go.
There's my boy. Okay. So if you scroll, all right. So now the world can see what I've been up to late at night here. So there's my Reed Shepherd.
You get your Zion right there. An incredible headshot from Zion here. I love this.
Listen, that's going to pay off tonight because I know he's about to be a hub and on the ball even more than usual. My worst buy was just an emotional purchase. It was Josh Hart. He's overpriced, and I probably paid too much, but I just have to have Josh Hart.
Yeah,
if it allows you to scroll down, you will get to the Trey Mann. What did I?
There it is, right here.
$17 for Trey Mann, and 26 on the salary cap. And I don't wish for anyone to get hurt, but this is what I was just talking about opportunity. And if someone like Brandon Miller gets hurt and hurts his hip, and he's going to be out for a little bit of time, Trey Mann was brought into action immediately, and boy, can this guy play. He could play in Oklahoma City, but he's behind so many guys, and their team is so good. He could barely crack the rotation. He ends up getting traded to Charlotte, gets his opportunity. And during that comeback against Houston opening night, it was him. LaMelo did his thing, obviously.
Sure.
But when they needed a half court, 8 seconds left on the shot clock bucket, I mean, there were a couple step backs there that you're like, ooh. You watch it, you're like, ooh.
That's one of those
good. He's good, man.
One of those things like that happens sometimes is people get hurt or a team is. This happened with Memphis and Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams. You kind of get in this situation where guys who probably wouldn't normally get run. And then you're like, oh shit, we might have just found a piece. And I feel like that's what happened with Trey Mann at the end of last season. LaMelo was out, all these guys are out, and it's the Mann and Meechit show. And Mann really showed something. And then it was really cool to see him do it in a non-tanking situation, right? Where he's playing 40 minutes. So
the ball was in his hands. They were running sets for him, and he got crazy opportunity. I mean, I'm going to pull up the box score real quick just to support my point. But
actually, you know what we can do right here? I think if we click your card, shout out Sorare. I think
I already beat you to it. I got it up on the
app. There you go.
28 minutes, 24 points, 6 rebounds on 16 shot attempts. That's second on the team, and it was off the bench. And he really didn't get those minutes until Brandon Miller got injured.
Right.
So, volume. This dude is it, man. I'm telling you, he can play.
He brought back the thick headband too. I don't know if you saw that, but he had a thick headband coming around.
Oh, yeah. This Hornets team. You know what? I'm big on the Rockets, and I was disappointed to see them blow it. But Charles Lee did not get that head coaching job by accident. He's got 2 rings in the last 3 years. He won one with Milwaukee as an assistant coach. He won one with Boston last year as well. And this looked like a team that actually believed for once. I mean, the Hornets, how many times have we seen the Hornets in the past go down by 15, 20 points and fold like a house of cards in the wind?
Right.
That was not the case. They fought back. They looked like they had a game plan that they executed. And while that should all be assumed with the Charlotte Hornets, it is most certainly not. So maybe, just maybe, we have a new version of this team moving forward.
And it seemed, I mean, it's like reading into body language from 4,000 miles away on League Pass, but it seemed like they were having a good time. And I don't remember the last time I've tuned into a Charlotte Hornets game where they seemed like they were having a good time while also trying to win a basketball game.
They
I guess
do have cash checking vibes, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, even especially when LaMelo wasn't in the lineup, everyone there was, we're playing for the Hornets. We're professional basketball players. Let's get some shots up and then go home and go back to the club or something.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not. It's just what I picked
energy
up on is the culture and watching them play basketball. Everyone had their own agenda that they need to get done every single night. So
yeah, and I think one of the interesting things about the Eastern Conference too, like I don't say it's top heavy, but like we got a pretty clear idea of what the 6 or 7 teams look like. But that 8 through 10, I mean, like if you told me 3 months from now, like Charlotte's, not 500 is probably a little aggressive, but like flirting with the play-in,
38 and 44 will get you a 10 seed, a 9 seed in the East.
Right. I feel like that's like in the range of outcomes for this team. Like the floor.
Let's do tiers real quick. Everyone loves a good tier chat.
Yeah.
So the top tier A is the Celtics. They might honestly be in a tier by themselves, but just for the sake of this, it's Celtics, 76ers, Bucks, and Knicks in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a step down to like the Cavs, the Magic. Is there anyone else worthy in that tier?
I'd throw the Pacers in there too.
Okay, but conference finals, Pacers. I'd put those 3 teams by themselves, and then it's another step down, and I've got the Heat, the Hawks,
and that's it. I mean, then maybe that really is it. Like, because it's not
the Nets, not the Pistons.
No, it's not the Bulls, man.
The Hornets, not the Bulls.
The Bulls were a tough hang or 2 nights ago. They were a tough hang. And I was talking myself into it. I was like, they're going to showcase Levine, who actually did look okay. It's like, maybe we'll get some Josh Giddey, some Kobe. The Kobe White still looked okay. But the Giddey thing, man, it looks good on paper projection-wise. Even for fantasy, Josh Giddey projects to be like one of the best plays this game week. But, man, it's tough. It's a tough hang. It's a tough hang.
Their offense is just – they're stuck in the mud. I mean, Kobe White's a great outside shooter. Zach LaVine caught fire in that game in New Orleans too. I guess that was fun for 5 minutes. But if I'm picking anyone on that team from a fantasy or Sorare standpoint, it's Josh Giddey because he's back on the ball. When that Oklahoma City 2 years ago, when they made the 10 seed for the play-in tournament, Shea was hurt for a lot of that season. And I just remember how much money me and my buddies were making on just betting the Thunder every night because they were plus 9.5, plus 10.5 against the Wizards and the Bulls. And when Giddey's on the ball, it is such a different story as opposed to him being a catch and shoot guy, blanking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's not why Josh Giddey was drafted 3rd in the NBA. Right? He is a great floor general. He will fill up the box score. He's tall. He gets rebounds. He's involved and he's efficient. He's not necessarily known as a scorer, but he's going to fill up the box score if he plays the true point guard spot, especially alongside Levine and Kobe White, 2 guys that are catch and shoot, set me up type of like this fit. I think will be brilliant from a statistical standpoint. But the Bulls' problem is every team in the NBA is good. And the other teams are just better than Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Zach LaVine. So they're going to lose a lot of games.
Yeah. I hope for their sake they're able to pull the plug and like just find Levine a new home, Vooch a new home, and then just go full rebuild. I just think it's too hard to like just steer the tank correctly if you still have really good players like because I mean, say what you will about Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine can still ball. Like he can still get hot and he's going to win you a handful of games. And I just hope they find him a new home. Chicago, get some new assets. I think that would be the way to go.
Sorry to interrupt you, but someone in the chat, Fave said Trey Mann is favorite player. I think is his comment. Favorite player of your favorite player guys. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Get used to the name Trey Mann because that number you see, the 26. If you're playing other forms of fantasy, but specifically here on Sorare, that number will not get any lower.
No.
All right, and no matter it is, if you're treating these players like stocks, it is. I feel like a moon is coming and I sound like a crypto guy. Like we're going to the moon, but we're going to the moon with Trey.
Well, I think too,
call me what you want.
I feel like, if Charlotte starts winning games for real, where he'll get a little 6-man buzz too, I think, because I don't think there's anybody out in front of the 6-man conversation, and it'll just be they want to get someone not named Karis LeVert and Malik Monk into the conversation. I think that I think they'll be in there.
But you
Nas,
can cheat with 6-man because if you start 40 games, you qualify. As long as you start, you come off the bench one more game than you started, you qualify.
Yeah, right. Because there was somebody that was. Maybe it was Nas Reed. I was thinking Nas wasn't going to qualify because he had started so many times.
Yeah, most of these people that win 6-man of the year, they start for them. Lou Williams in the past, like he started all the time.
Started so many games. Lou started so many games. I know our guy Nick was making a dick joke in here, but I do want to shout out Grady Dick here for a second. He was like the only Raptor that looked like he showed up to play in that Cleveland Cavalier game.
Can you pull him up on Sorare? I'm curious.
Yeah. Let's go. He was someone in other formats because I was messing around with some. Is it Grady with an E or just there we go.
Yep.
Here we go. So you can see under 10 for his
show me a current year card.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot we have to click latest season for that. Okay, we have to
They should make that the default because you need those cards to participate in the limited challenges. You're allowed one off your card, right?
Right.
Okay. Right.
We see Grady Dick here. Now these are still being auctioned off. So there's 5 hours left on this one, but right now it's just under $13. But yeah, he was like one of the only, and again, no RJ Barrett. IQ left that game a little bit earlier, but there was a lot of good buzz from him heading into this season. And he looked, he looked a little aggressive, knocked down some shots. I don't know if he's going to fill in the other stats, the rebounds and assists, but for a relatively low cap guy, I feel like he can get you some buckets.
29 minutes, 16 points, got up 13 total shots, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks.
Hey, it's Tim Hardaway Jr. numbers right
there. Yes. I was about to say this reeks of a 6-man of the year stat. Like Jordan Clarkson, 24 points, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, everything else. Nothing but buckets.
Oh man, that I really did just pull up Tim Hardaway Jr.'s stat line because he on So Rare, and it's so funny. Like players like that will pop because his cap is only 8. And I pulled up Hardaway Jr.'s stat line, and I think it was like 14 shots, exactly 1 rebound, 14 points, exactly 1 rebound, exactly 1 assist.
Right.
But I am interested in Grady Dick this year. Maybe I don't know if I want to be rolling him out early in the season, but if he is really able to take a little bit of a step here in year 2, Toronto clearly, as Jakob Poeltl told us, not focusing on winning out the gate.
That's this team. They're going to get shots up, but they have to stay in the game. That's the problem because Grady Dick got taken out early because it was a blowout.
Right.
So for him to play more than 30 minutes, the Raptors have to stay attached, and that's going to be their biggest challenge. And if you own one of these cards, you got to think about that because that 21 number is going to go through the roof after tonight. He's going to lead the team in field goal attempts, especially without. Did I see IQ's out?
Yeah, IQ's out and RJ.
Oh, God. He's going to get up 20 shots tonight.
Yeah.
Easily.
And I actually think this game might stay close because no Embiid, no Paul George. Like, I'm not sure if a Maxey Drummond Oubre team is blowing anybody out. So
the Raptors are that bad. They're also doomed until they build a court that matches their purple unis, their throwback unis. They trotted on opening night. They trotted them out there with the purple Vince Carters on their red court. It made zero sense. It looked horrendous from an aesthetic purpose, and they are doomed until they fix that. Period.
That is tough.
I've got a question in the chat from Magnum, by the way. He's asking, whoever you are, the strategy behind my buys. Is there any way you can load what my team is tonight, like the 5 cards I have in the league, or
I don't think
cards that I hold?
But I think just the cards you hold until it locks. But you can, if you want to, you can share screen. We can share yours, and you can pull up your lineup if you want to.
In case it shows my screen, I got too many tabs.
I got you.
Can't show my browser history.
Yeah, that's it. I can go back to your lineup. I mean your.
I can account. I can tell you if you put the cards on the screen. I can tell you who's in my lineup tonight. So it's Reed Shepherd, Zion, Josh Hart's not in my lineup. I think I have Valanciunas in there.
Okay. Valanciunas is interesting because he still put up numbers in limited minutes. I couldn't believe they put him on the bench. I thought for sure Sarr was starting at the 4, Valanciunas at the 5, and they just pulled the fast one on us and gave us little Bub Carrington night 1.
Did you see that starting lineup? I mean, they're punting on the season already. They purposely sent out all their young guys.
Yeah.
And they had Corey Kispert, Valanciunas, all coming off the bench.
I couldn't. I knew. I thought Kispert was going to come off the bench, but I thought they wanted to start Sar at the 4. I love Bilal Koulibaly. I'm a big Koulibaly
Yeah,
believer.
no. Koulibaly's
but-
worthy. Okay, they
Yeah.
need Koulibaly badly. You paid all that money for Valanciunas to leave New Orleans, and you had him coming off the bench. What is the point of that? Are you
I
just
could
planning on
not
trading
believe
him?
it. I could not believe it. He was probably
Okay.
looking at him like he was in his headshot right here.
I
That's
was
probably-
obviously, yeah, I would be making that face too. I was obviously pissed because I paid for him and I want to put him in my lineup. But Trey Mann's definitely in there, obviously. I think I put Devin Booker, and if you scroll down, I do have a Nikola Jokic old
there you go.
card,
That's
and I
true.
used Jokic as my
Your MVP
as
guy.
my MVP, but he's only playing one game. You only get a couple of extra percentage points there because it's an older card, but Jokic is in there too. I've got a stacked lineup. So Zion, I think it's Zion, Trey, Reed, Jokic, and
You must have one other big
Booker.
Booker. Yeah. That
And
sounds
Booker.
right. That sounds like it fits.
I think is my 5. Now the question in the chat is what is my strategy
Yeah, pull that back up.
to behind the buys? He's also asking, were these mainly players that he likes, or does he want to compete in a specific competition? I'm playing in the pro limited, like most other people
champion.
are. There's multiple games per week. These are both players I like, but I know I struck gold with Trey Mann. I have my Jokic card, so he's always going to be my one non-season card that I put in there because I paid so much for him last year. And then I'm just going to kind of juggle the Devin Bookers and the Josh Harts, depending on, who's got more games that week. But I was hoping Valanciunas would slide into that same category as I thought I got a steal the same way that I did when I took Trey Mann.
Right.
Like, Valanciunas every night, if he's starting, this guy should be at least 17 and 12 every night on this Wizards team. There's no one else down there on the interior who's going to be clearing out defensive possessions and or getting interior buckets.
And I mean, that was so clear last night. Like the second that game started, and shut up, Jordan Poole. We had a little throwback Poole performance. It kept it close in the first quarter, but nobody could corral a rebound. And the Celtics aren't even playing big. It's not like they got big dudes out there. It was like Al Horford at the 5. Like, it's not like Porzingis was clearing out boards. So Valanciunas was starting. I totally agree. I mean, I bet his rebound prop bet line would have been like 11.5 going into that game. And then I was surprised. But the nice thing is, like, in game weeks, like if Valanciunas does come off the bench for a little bit and then all of a sudden starts again, his cap's going to stay relatively low. So he's going to continue to play, like, even off his bench minutes, he's going to surpass that cap. But he'll be a great player. There's no way they start that 5 this whole season.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me.
That was a February lineup.
I mean, that they did that, and they still, if you're going super young, why is Poole and Kuzma out there?
Right.
What this lineup makes no sense.
Also, you never forget Kuzma saying he didn't want to get traded to the Mavericks. Every time he's rolled out in one of these rosters where he's like, I wanted a championship contender, not the Mavericks. I always think of that every time he gets rolled out in that squad. Tough stuff.
They are by far the biggest joke in the league already after one game. I mean, they have no purpose whatsoever, and they have some decent talent there. Like, I really do love Koulibaly.
I do too. I'm a big Bilal fan.
He will blossom into the iPod mini version of Victor Wembanyama, right?
Yeah.
He's got he's not as tall, obviously, but he's got the crazy length and the athleticism. He should do well with opportunity. He got experience this past summer for Team France at the Olympics.
Yeah.
He got some scruff on his beard a little bit. He needed that. He's still so young, and you surround him with this.
Tough to get excited.
Jordan Poole and Kuzma chucking up air balls last night. Oh my God.
And I feel like it's only going to get worse because it seems like Kispert, Valanciunas, maybe Kuzma, but the first 2, it feels like they're getting moved at the deadline. Like, Valanciunas should be on a playoff team, and so should Kispert. Kispert's great. I'm still a Kispert believer.
Well, it's the Wizards.
It is the Wizards. It is the Wizards.
They should rebrand, go back to the Bullets. They'd be blasting off like this.
We don't have too much time left here as we're closing in on lock. I just while we're here, I'm going to remind the people that are in the chat right now. If you're watching over on Twitter, thank you for watching. Thanks for sharing, Rob. But come on over to YouTube here as we are giving away. Hold on, can I go back to? Is that going to clear out the giveaway completely? It clears out the giveaway completely, which is great. But we're going to be giving away 2 NBA tickets right now. Go
Right
ahead.
now? Wait, do you want to give a minute for
Oh, yeah.
the
I mean,
Twitter
like
people to come
now,
over?
in like the next 8 minutes, we're gonna do it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Couple
If
more.
you're on the World Wide Web Twitter right now, the channel is, what should they type in? Live
I would
before
say,
lock?
I would just Elite Fantasy Hoops.
Elite Fantasy Hoops on YouTube if you want to be in the entry for some free
Yeah.
tickets.
And all you have to do is subscribe, put tickets, #tickets into the chat. We're going to give away a pair of NBA tickets. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any other? I'm trying to think. Was there any other so rare angle we need to hit before we wrap up a little bit? I feel like we covered your squad. Did you see? I don't know if you saw any of the Vegas stuff, but they introduced for the in-season tournament. They're doing a daily contest across all the different scarcities. So there's a common, a limited, a rare, super rare, and a unique. And they're going to be giving away, they're doing like 15K in prizes every single Tuesday and every single Friday. And then just by
I did
like,
not know that. They should probably let me know.
yeah, they just announced it today.
Okay. All right.
And then just by like participating, you're entered into a raffle as well for the VIP experience in Vegas for the Emirates Cup final. The Emirates Cup final. Did you go out there at all last year for any?
I was supposed to. I pulled the plug at the last second.
Yeah.
The game, the semifinal games were good, weren't they?
Yeah, that was
that was the Halliburton.
Yes,
that was
Dame
when
time.
he went to the wristwatch for the first time on
right.
Dame, right?
That's right. It was Hallie time.
Spicy.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then that was the game where we spent a week talking about Zion's career after the Lakers played the Pelicans, and everybody was really upset with Zion.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, I think the NBA did a good job with at least the semifinals and the finals, because it does feel like an event. The aura inside the building, it was packed. It felt like it mattered.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it was the only games on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is one of my biggest beefs with the NBA is they're never going to get big national ratings tonight, for example, because despite it being Pacers, Knicks, and Lakers, Suns, there's 8 other games on concurrently. And those fans are either at the game, they're watching their team, and unless they have multiple televisions or iPads or computers, I mean, I guess people watching this show probably do because we're so locked in, but the average American or viewer across the world does not. So they're watching their team, and as a result, the audience gets fractured.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was out there, and the one adjustment they made this year compared to last year is they moved the semifinals from Thursday to Saturday, I believe. So the semifinals are on Saturday. I think the final is on Tuesday night. And the reason I love that move is because you're on Pacific time. And so they were like the first semifinal game was Bucks Pacers, which was the best game of the weekend. And that started, I think, at like 1 p.m. Pacific time. And the arena was like half.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how empty. They were giving away tickets to that one.
It was,
and it wasn't because it ended up being a great game, but it was the
awesome
weirdest
game.
time ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So I'm glad I think the adjustment will be nice. People will go out for the weekend. I'm going out there again this year, but just for I'll be out there just for the final, because it was about $1,000 cheaper to go out there on Sunday instead of to go out there on Friday.
Yeah. That too. It's getting to Vegas is, depending on the day, it could quite literally cost you $1,000 less.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes this year, but
yeah. But yeah, so people should be checking out the Emirates Cup stuff that Sorare dropped, because that is going to be, and it's a little bit different because it's the daily contest instead of the full long game week. It'll just be every Tuesday and every Friday. So fun stuff. And we also only have to do, it's only 2 in-season cards for that one. So if you are someone who's been collecting for a couple of years, you can use some of the returning cards, which is pretty sweet. All right, let's see where we are here with this giveaway, and then we will wrap up here. Let's see where we are. Here we go. We've got 47 entrants right now. Last call. All you got to do, put #tickets into the chat. We're giving courtesy of Sorare NBA. And I always have to put the disclaimer out.
That's pretty good damn odds of winning these tickets. You have the equivalent of 13th place in the lottery odds of getting the first overall pick right now. if it's 1 in 50, it's 2%. That's pretty decent.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And as long as you're the Detroit Pistons, you're not the Detroit Pistons, excuse me. You got a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Unless you finish 5th. And we've got like, that's 47 out of like the 150 watching on YouTube and the 26,000 watching on Twitter, if those numbers are accurate. So
I think that's probably the cumulative.
Yeah.
I don't have that type of pull anymore.
No,
but
yeah, but I would say it's probably 95.5 in the Twitter poll percentage pie of who's pulling people in right now.
okay.
But dude, thanks for coming on and doing this again, man. I appreciate it. I know we did this last year too, but you're always good to talk hoops with someone who's very comfortable talking hoops on camera. So appreciate you doing this.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's also this. I like the fantasy because between 3. Well, it's Pacific time, but between 3:30 and 4, I'm standing by as news is coming in. I made a ton of money off of that Zion news on Wednesday.
That's
so
great.
I'm sitting here just like everyone else, waiting for that big CLV spot, and I've got my Sorare team locked in for the entire weekend. So do this more often, and if the chat is okay with it, all I see is tickets.
Yeah.
But,
there we go.
I'll be back for sure.
If there was ever, if our guy AG in the chat says, I enjoyed this and I hate everything. So more Rob. There we
That's
go.
the best compliment you can get. My hate has been tabled for 30 minutes.
That's the most internet pilled comment of all time.
That's the best compliment you'll possibly get on Twitter. So.
All right, hell yeah, we'll definitely do this again. Let's spin this.
Wait, do I get to see the result? The suspense is killing me.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna spin it right now.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. Let's spin it right now. We'll see. Only 55 entrants. You guys, we had like 200 entrants in the So Rare card giveaway. Mike Smith coming in late with an entrance. Let's see if he can double dip here. Joseph Harrison. I love that we got Mike Smith and Joseph Harrison.
He's already looking at me smiling in his picture. He knew he was going to win. Anticipation.
He knows, which means they're going to say rigged. They're going to say rigged. All right, listen, Rob, thank you so much for doing this, man. You guys, I was going to do like, you should plug some stuff, but I promise you, anybody that's watching this right now already is
Sorare all day. Sorare NBA. I'm on Sirius XM for 5 hours every single day.
It's a 5-hour show.
Well, it's a 3-hour day show, and I do the post game show for 2 hours until 2 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of talking, as you can tell, as my voice is a little raspy, but I do appreciate you having me on. You make my life easy when I can be the guest as opposed to the host and doing the stream and stuff, because my brain is mush at this point.
I felt the same way when I did an hour before you got on, and I was just so thankful to have gaps in the words that I was saying. Like it was.
Yeah, it helps, man. It really does. Solo shows are not easy. You got to fill airtime.
No, I'm usually good for a solid 35, and then right around that 36 minute, I start huffing.
You should have heard me last night. I was doing play-by-play for Sacramento and Minnesota because that game wasn't over when I was live. So I sounded like one of those I've never done play-by-play in my life, and I'm out here calling the game. But you got to do what you got to do to fill airtime.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you joining the show. Shout out to Sorare NBA for hooking us up with the tickets and setting this up. For those of you that have signed up for the membership, we'll have that live after dark show that'll pop up here in a few minutes for a half hour. And then, best of luck this game week. Let's go win some Sorare cards. And let's go I was going to say, let's get a Dia Day sighting this weekend, but that was actually a terrible pronunciation, right? It's not Dia Day.
I thought it was Dadier.
Dadier. It is Dadier. Okay. I was going to say, let's get a Dadier.
Listen, I butcher names all the time. It's my job to pronounce them correctly, and I still butcher them.
I could only pronounce
it Rajon Rondo or Rajon Rondo? We still don't know. I only pronounced it right because I was looking at it the first time when the card was there. But anyways, all right, we'll call it there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Best of luck this weekend. Enjoy the weekend. We're out of here.